What's up, nerds? Welcome to Post Credit Review. I am your host, The Clown, and with me is...
Kevy Kev.
Kev is here.
In the basement.
And your phone is going off. Put that bitch on silent.
All right.
But anyway, we are here to talk about a movie that we got to see a little early, got an early screening on it, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The movie that is going to blow up until Spider-Man Homecoming comes out.
Yes.
I
can't wait for that one.
Yeah, me either. I'm actually really excited about a Spider-Man movie, and that just scares me, even though I guess it's okay because Marvel's making it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a terrifying thought that I'm excited about a Spider-Man movie.
But the thing that's cool about it is the fact that Marvel didn't make the rest of the Spider-Man, so it's kind of like watching a Spider-Man movie for the first time.
It is. It really is.
No,
that is true. You are the new host or co-host of Post Credit Review.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just want to get that out there going forward.
I'm the new Jake.
You are the new Jake. And on top of that, this is also the last video that's going to be put out before our big rebrand. Because, like I said, we got an early screening. We aren't ready for the rebrand exactly yet. We aren't ready to start doing videos under the new regime, I guess it would be. So this is going to be...
Regime? That's kind of like... It sounds a little terrorist.
Regime as in new management, I guess is the best way of putting it. But yeah, this is the last video we're going to put out under this logo and under this banner, everything like that. But like I said, we got an early screening. The movie comes out in a couple days, so we thought we would put it out here so you guys could see it and so we could give our opinion on it while it was still relevant. But let's start this up with a little bit of a brief overview. What exactly this movie is about.
Okay.
So... It's the story of boy trying to meet father kind of a thing.
With a lot of confusing stuff
stuff around it.
Yeah.
Pretty much Star-Lord's looking for Daddy. At the beginning of the movie, they're all saving the universe. And
actually, correct. Daddy's looking for Star-Lord.
Daddy's looking for Star-Lord. Yeah. But at the beginning of the movie, they're fighting some big monster. They're working as heroes for hire.
Did you mention spoilers?
I did not. Going forward, there are going to be spoilers about the movie. We're going to try and keep it very light spoilers all the way through most of this, but at the end we are going to cover some heavy spoiler stuff, including what this entire video thing that we do is named after post-credit review. We are going to talk about the post-credit scenes in this movie, but we are going to do that much later. We will give you a warning before we start doing that, so we're going to try and keep it spoiler-free for the most part going through our main review. But starts off, they're heroes for hire. They're getting paid by people to go out and do odd jobs. This one they happen to be fighting a giant beast, a giant monster.
And they're not really heroes, they're guardians.
Guardians for hire. Heroes for hire is a different property. That's Daredevil.
That's right.
Or, that's Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
That's right.
But yeah, they're fighting this big monster and shit goes down and they're champions of the galaxy and all these things. They're showing a lot of tension between Rocket and Star-Lord and Rocket and everybody, actually. They bring Yondu back, they bring Nebula back, they introduce Mantis, they also introduce Ego, which this isn't a spoiler because this was in the trailer. Ego is Star-Lord's father, but we'll get more on that later in the heavy spoiler section. Just kind of how they did it and things like that. Because I was worried when I read it, because in the comics, Ego is a living planet.
Yes.
And if that banged his mom, I feel like she'd be dead real soon and not from cancer.
Or smushed.
Or smushed. Or smushed.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was the same way because, I mean, I'm an avid comic book reader and I'm from old school, you know, and I've read stories where Silver Surfer or Thor go up against Ego and it's the planet.
Yeah.
You know, so when they seen that, Kurt Russell was playing his
Ego.
father, playing Ego, and I'm thinking, whoa, that's stupid. But after I watched the movie, it all made sense.
Yes, and we will cover that later in this. On from there, it's a story about Star-Lord and Ego's interactions and things like that, as well as different things with Yondu, Rocket, Groot. Groot is back, baby. Groot is fucking adorable.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I told you while we were watching the movie, there was a part that almost made me cry because it had to do with baby Groot. And we'll get more to that toward the spoiler section as well. Because it happened and I was just like, oh no.
I almost had to go get him a tissue.
Yeah, because I was beating off the Gamora, so the tissue would have been for that. I probably would have wiped my hand with this.
Man, you better just quit
I
thinking
would
about
have
my
wiped.
girlfriend, man.
I would have wiped my eyes with the same tissue though, so I can't say much.
Well,
that's how I get my hair to be slick.
Why don't you take Nebula? I'll take Gamora.
Yeah, man. All right. I'm curious to see what she can do with that robot hand.
Maybe I'll take Rocket. I definitely don't want Drax.
I'm taking the Trash Panda. The Trash Panda's mine.
Trash Bandit.
He said panda in the movie, didn't he?
No, he said Trash Bandit.
Did he say bandit?
That's what they call raccoons, Trash Bandits.
That makes sense. I thought he called him a Trash Panda. I'm like, the fuck is that? I was like Rocket. I was really confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much it's all about Ego and Star-Lord. It splits the team for a while, and it's really weird. Drax and Mantis have this kind of weird relationship, which is fucking funny. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it splits the team. This is Star-Lord's movie. It's very driven by him. And it's very much character, his story arc and everything like that. You get a little bit of Gamora's, not a lot of Drax, a lot of Rocket, and not a whole lot with Groot, a lot of Yondu stuff. But the main focus of the story is about Star-Lord. And I think that pretty much sums up just about what the movie's about. As far as being spoiler-free at this part.
Yeah, and just basically
just
being
brief.
Just plus having little other interactions within the story, just to kind of keep it fun. But
yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get right down to it. What is your opinion of the movie? What are your thoughts on the movie?
Well, I'll tell you what, I did not care for the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Blasphemy.
I know. I did not care for it. I mean, I didn't hate it. It's just like, it just didn't. But the second one, I got to say, I absolutely love the second one. I mean, I'm not like, oh my God, but, a lot better than I thought it was. I really didn't think I wanted to see it because I thought if it's going to be like the first one, I don't want to see it. But basically, I liked the way everything was put together.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that with science fiction movies, especially when they put a lot of those things in there, like really freaky, weird things, like those, like the gold looking people and stuff like that. It's tough to make it interesting and keep everything organized. But I think they did a great job of doing that.
Yeah.
So I was impressed with that. I would say probably, and my favorite part of the movie.
Okay.
I liked it all, but my favorite part is the beginning, when they're fighting a monster and they're just the stuff that's going on with
Baby Groot and all that.
Baby Groot, and it's just really funny, and then everybody's babysitting him at the same time while they're fighting, and I for some reason I like that part. I could watch it over and over again.
The beginning of that movie was pretty fucking great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
What about, let's get down to, who was your favorite character in the movie?
Well, I would have to say, it depends on what I'm picking him as a favorite for. If we're looking at Gamora, definitely. I like Gamora. A little too green for me, but that's okay. I can get past that.
Let's go with what character were you the most invested in? That you cared about their outcome the most?
Probably, I would have to say Rocket.
Rocket?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Rocket, but a close runner-up is Baby Groot.
Baby Groot.
It was really cool.
Baby Groot makes this movie.
Yeah.
Without Baby Groot, this movie isn't as good as it was.
And Drax, I have to say, because Drax in the first movie to me just didn't get too many lines, and not only that, it just this one, a lot of lines, a lot of funny lines, and
they gave him a lot to chew on, and he delivered.
Yes, he did.
He did a really good job, and I'm surprised because in the first movie, like you said, he's doesn't talk as much. He does have some funny one-liners here and there, and he's a funny character.
He seems kind of.
He seems out of place in the movie. In the first one, it seems like he's in there, but he shouldn't be. And this one, he proves that he belongs.
Yeah, they all mesh well.
Yeah, and it seems like, and which makes sense because in the first movie they're all meeting each other. The chemistry's not going to be what it needs to be. Mm-hmm. This one they've been together for a while, and that chemistry you can tell, like as a team, they're starting to mesh, which makes the interactions more believable, more realistic, things like that.
With a rocket raccoon.
I mean, from a writing standpoint and character standpoint.
I know.
The talking raccoon is a little bit of suspension of disbelief, but once you get past that, it's okay, I guess.
Well, yeah. So let me ask you, Clown, what's your thoughts, your opinion on the movie?
I personally like the first one better, but I think a lot of that for me came down to music. The music in the first one I think was a lot better, and I think it added a lot more to the story. I feel like the music in the second one with the mixtape Volume 2 thing, I feel like the music itself didn't lend to the story as well as it did in the first one.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what the music in the second one reminded me of is watching there's a movie. It's an old, like an English sci-fi movie that was out like back in the 70s when they played all that kind of music and stuff, and it just was really trippy. So, yeah.
I mean, this movie is very much, if you like drop some acid before you go see it, you're gonna have a hell of a time.
Oh,
A lot of
yeah.
beautiful colors, things like
Especially
that.
when the bubbles are around, they're popping the bubbles.
The bubbles part. But the music to me in this movie just kind of lent itself. It didn't feel like it belonged, I guess. The selections and everything, like you've got Hooked on a Feeling from the first one, which I personally love the song, and it's one that I forgot about since Reservoir Dogs. So sitting down and hearing that again while watching the first one reminds me it's nostalgic, which is what it's supposed to be because it's supposed to be things from his childhood.
Well, and there's a few other songs I didn't even recognize. I kind of felt like I've heard them before, but
Yeah. And the main song they used between the interactions with Ego and Star-Lord, I don't know the name of the song. I'd never heard it before.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of like reciting the lines and everything like that in that song.
Yeah.
It just came off. It played really weird to me. Everything with the music. So I think music played a very big deal and a very big part in this movie to me because I feel like the movie itself is very much a musically driven film.
Yeah.
So that kind of turned me off to the second one.
That means we're going to see on Broadway Guardians of the Galaxy, the musical.
Dude, I'll play Groot. I'm Groot. I can do it. Three words.
I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I am Groot. Just shit like that. I got this, man. Call me next. Fuck Vin Diesel. Call me. I'm your guy.
Yeah, I bet Vin Diesel had a lot of takes.
I don't think he actually had a line in this movie.
I grew damn. Oh, God.
I fucked it up again.
Gosh.
Somebody get me Paul Walker. I need help. Oh, shit. Never mind. Too soon?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like the second one better. Or the first one better. The second one, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. I just feel like if they would have had a better selection of music, I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, okay. All right, great. Well, what would you say was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part of the movie, I would have to say, is kind of spoilerish, so it's hard for me to, like, say it, but I'm going to say Stan Lee's cameo.
Okay, that's...
And we will talk about that later in the spoiler section. But that is my favorite part of the movie.
If you go away, you're a chicken. Okay, so what about favorite character?
Favorite character for me is Yondu.
Yondu.
I love what they did with Yondu in this movie. I also love Michael Rooker as an actor. But, yeah, Yondu to me had the most character development, and you got to see him develop the most, change the most, and become kind of the final product of who Yondu is, kind of a thing. And it was really cool to watch. Obviously, Star-Lord was the main character, but it's also very driven by the under characters in this. And I think Yondu had a very good story to tell, and I think they told it very, very well.
It was good to watch all the way up until the part where he bleep.
What a dick, Yondu. Why'd you do that to Rocket?
Yeah.
Shit! We're just kidding. Nothing happens to Rocket with Yondu. But let's get down to brass tacks. Let's give our ratings. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this movie?
Well, we talked previously, I think I'll stick with my rating. My rating is going to be a 6.
You're going to go with a 6 on this?
Yeah.
I am going to give it a 7.
Yeah.
The first one for me was an 8, though, so it's a little bit down, but it's still definitely a good movie.
Yeah.
So that's going to give our overall rating to the movie itself from the show a 6.5, which that's not bad. I think it's the second highest rated movie we've done. Number 1, obviously, is Logan. That was an 8 when I did it with a former co-host. But this, good movie, definitely. But let's go ahead.
Let me ask you, okay, so what do you think was missing or they could have done better, or why you wouldn't have given it a higher rating than you gave it?
My big thing is the music. I feel like they took a step back in that. And on top of that, I feel like they kind of took the events of the first one and almost like they forgot about them. Okay. Like there was no impact. They didn't matter. They were called the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we saw the little bit of interaction with them being heroes and all this stuff while they're helping some other faction in space with something at the beginning. But other than that, I mean, you get one mention of him holding the Infinity Stone in the first one, but it felt like the first movie didn't matter. It felt like there was no impact from it. It felt like this was its own standalone story and wasn't building on what they had previously established. So, I mean, that's my issue with most sequels. But like I said, I still think it's a good movie, but if they would have built on what they'd previously done a little better and had a better soundtrack, which in most movies soundtrack doesn't matter, but I feel like for this specific franchise, it is it's very important. And I feel like those two elements kind of missing hurt the movie, but not to the point where I wouldn't want to watch. I'd watch it again.
Sure. Yeah.
What about for you? What did you see as missing from this movie?
Well, I think one of the things that was missing is a little more backstory for Nebula and Gamora. as opposed to just saying, well, we were, kids or whatever. But a little more backstory, just something to show that Thanos' daddy and bring out more. I mean, it was a little bit there, but not as much. Another thing is, I don't like the way they did Mantis.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about her at all.
Yeah,
it was a weird character. I know it was the Drax of the second movie. Just felt like they didn't belong.
Yeah,
felt like they didn't really have a place. They just shoehorned them in.
Right, and literally, because if the Mantis that I'm used to when I read in the comic books and stuff, looks like a regular woman and very shapely, nice woman. Has her antenna things that are up there, but this one looked like a grasshopper.
Yeah, a little strange. The mannerisms, the way they talked, which is a choice by the actor, and I thought they were trying to give the part something else. But it was still, it just didn't fit right in with the rest of the characters. Right. The motivations didn't seem right. Just seemed like it was written in there to kind of be the exposition fairy, which I don't feel like was needed in the movie.
Right. Well, yeah. And the other thing is I tell you what, I guess I am a die-hard Kurt Russell fan. Love Kurt Russell. But I don't think he was right for that part. Just don't.
I personally loved him.
Oh,
I thought he did a great job.
I don't think he did a bad job. I just didn't think he was right for that. Something didn't click with me. I just couldn't see him as being that. Yeah. And I do like the how they did the beginning when they went back to the past kind of thing.
Oh, when they showed on Earth and all that.
When they showed Kurt Russell and
Peter's mom and all that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a neat little section. Yeah. I personally love Kurt Russell. I thought he did a great job in the role. But I can understand what you're saying. But I mean, I personally didn't feel that way. I thought he did a great job in that role, and I thought it was a good place for him to be.
Yeah.
But let's get to the next part of this, which is it worth the money? Is it worth your $12.50, $11.50 to go see this in theaters? Even more if you want to see it in, I don't know if it's in 3D, but I'm assuming it's in IMAX.
Well, this is how I kind of do mine is with the movie is I say whether it's something you want to sit at home and watch whenever you have the opportunity, or go to the show, the standard show, or you go to the IMAX, or you go to the IMAX 3D. Mm-hmm. IMAX 3D, that's Iron Man right there. Yeah. So I was saying this one here, because it has a lot of neat...
I don't think it's in 3D, though, as far as I remember.
Oh, this one's not?
I don't know. It very well could be, but I'm not sure.
I thought they said they all were going to be.
They very well could be. I just don't know off the top of my head.
Well...
We didn't see it in IMAX or 3D. We saw it in regular standard definition.
Yeah. And this one here is more of a... It's got a lot of neat special effects, so if you you really love the 3D aspect of the movie to get the glasses and see the kind of neat things, okay, fine, spend your money to do it. But in order just to get the gist of the movie and just quality wise, it's worth a shot at the show, at the regular show. So
you'd say it's worth the $11.50 price of admission to go see it on a Friday night?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with you. I think it's definitely worth the money to go see. I would pay to see it again personally. And I very well may. I may go see it 2 or 3 more times just because there's a lot of stuff in there that you catch on the second or third viewing that you normally wouldn't catch on the first or second.
Mm-hmm.
So
it happens to me a lot.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff and there's a lot of Easter eggs, things like that. So I'd definitely give it a shot.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely worth the money to me. But now to get into the fun part.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
This is the heavy spoiler section. We're going to talk about just certain things that happened in the movie that are very spoiler-esque and things that we took away from it, things like that. Let's get to, first off, my favorite part of the movie, Stanley's cameo. Stanley's cameo is that he is an astronaut sitting in a random planet talking to...
2 cameos. I mean, he's got 2 separate...
He has 2... It's the same cameo.
Yeah,
though.
2 separate things.
It's one of the post-credit scenes as well. But the first one is he's sitting there talking to the 3 Watchers. Anybody who knows Marvel Comics knows that Uatu is one of the Watchers, and the Watcher's job is to watch and record everything happening in the universe.
And not interfere.
So they play a very big role in the Marvel Comics. They're the big thing behind the What If comics. They're the big thing. They have interfered on occasion. Uatu has, but it's very rare that they interfere, and for the most part, they're just there to watch and record. And they're a very big connective piece to the Marvel Universe and a very big part of the multiverse theory that is in Marvel. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool to have those introduced. We have no idea what they're going to do with them going forward. They could just be a joke spot for the cameo in this movie, or they could end up using them in other things such as Secret Wars, things of that nature. So we could be seeing other cool properties developing from this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But other things that were spoiler-esque, the post-credit scenes, the bread and butter, what the show's about. First off, first post-credit scene we see is the golden people in the movie. I don't remember the name.
I don't either.
Of the race. I don't think they're an actual Marvel characters, but I could be wrong, but I don't remember them from any of the comics. The Guardians steal something from them, and the big arc in this movie is them trying to get back the thing they stole and kill them. But they create something. And what they create is codenamed Adam. And it is in a cocoon, which leads us to believe that it is none other than Adam Warlock himself.
Yep.
Who plays a very big role in the Infinity Wars.
Which would be him. That's his name, is him. Before it was Adam Warlock.
Yes, it is him. And having him introduced makes me more excited about Infinity Wars. Because it means they might have a shot at actually doing it right. More right than they are, because obviously Vision doesn't have an Infinity Stone in his head in the comics, but we'll see what happens. But having Adam Warlock introduced can play a very big role in what happens going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You have anything spoiler-esque you'd like to discuss before we get to the other two post-credit scenes?
One of the things is how Peter, Star-Lord, Ego basically... I don't think this is
an extension of Ego.
Yeah, I don't actually think this is... I can't remember exactly what Ego was. I didn't think he was a Celestial, but in here he says he's a Celestial,
which is actually kind of cool because it means they're introducing the Celestials.
Sure. So, but that's a different type of Celestial.
Yeah.
Way different. And then he says a Celestial, as you mean a god? Well, yeah. Well, basically, Peter gets to test some of the power out, because he actually transfers to him, and I like the fact that I don't know, I just love that. That is the part I forgot to say. I do love it, the fact that he was so in awe of that power until he said he's the one that put that tumor in his mom's head and shut it right off. It's like, you killed my mom, and he starts trying to talk to him, and blows his shit away.
Starts shooting the shit out of him. Yes. It was a really cool moment because you have Peter being there, being convinced that Ego's plan to essentially assimilate the universe to himself is the right way to go, and he's listening. He says, I almost wish I wouldn't have put that tumor in your mom's head. And then you see the color fade away from his face, and you see the eyes return to normal. And then he tries to talk to him, all of a sudden Peter just pulls both guns and just starts boom, 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 boom. And it was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Ego for a second.
Okay.
In the comics, Ego is a living planet. Oh, excuse me. He's a gigantic planet who has fought, like you said, Silver Surfer. He's fought a lot of people. And he's a big deal in the comics. He can also create manifestations of himself, which in the comics, they have to be on Ego. I don't remember them ever really going anywhere in the comics, any of his manifestations. I could be wrong, but they usually aren't gone for very long.
Yeah,
if they
in
do
space, but away from the planet, but not far.
Yeah, they have to be within kind of the range of the planet.
Yeah.
In this one, his manifestation that he has created is living tissue. It's a living person that is him. And he goes and travels to all these different planets and just has children with all the women. He creates children on every planet. He goes to Earth, and he leads a piece of himself on these planets. And his big plan, once he has somebody who shares his same genealogy, that word's hard to say.
Words damn hard?
Words damn hard. They can both create this power that will let him, like I said earlier, assimilate the universe. Have that piece of himself grow and take over these planets and become everything. But the way they did Ego, with him leaving and everything like that, I like the way they said he had to come back and he had to be near the planet or else he would wither and die. That kind of lent itself to what the comic version can do and everything like that. Yeah, they took a few liberties, but I think they were the right liberties to tell the story the way it needed to be told.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it was one of those things where a lot of times when I look at a Marvel movie, trust me, there's been a few of them that I look at and go, what the freaking hell did they do? But that's how.
Why is Nick Fury black?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm confused. I remember a white guy.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of things, and I know you're going to take liberties, but there's just some things. It's a personal thing. There's some things you try to take liberties with, and it just doesn't jive with me.
Yeah.
But I think they did a very, very good job with Guardians of the Galaxy, taking liberties they needed to take, and I think that they fit very well.
And they also introduced certain characters like Vance Astro and things like that, which I thought was really cool. Sylvester Stallone's cameo in this is he's just one of the what are they called? Ravengers. I keep calling them Reavers. He's one of the Ravengers. He's I think the leader of the Ravengers in general. which cool little spot for Sly Stallone to show up in. Didn't really have a big role in the movie.
He must have had hell of a makeup or something. He looked
young. It was weird.
He looked like in his 40s or something.
But the second post-credit scene is the Stan Lee continuation of the cameo. It's a little funny spot. You just see all the watchers get up and start walking away, and Stan Lee going, "Hey, you're my ride home. I've got more stories to tell," because he's telling him about all his cameos in the other movies.
Yeah.
Which means Stan Lee is the same exact person in every Marvel movie, which went to the idea that he was the Watcher. He was a Uatu.
That's what we were thinking, yeah.
And now I'm kind of thinking he might be the Beyonder.
Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Well, the Beyonder was... he's too... I'm not stupid. He's just kind of, like, flight-headed or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it could also all be an act. And that's kind of the way
Well, if they ever bring the Beyonder in for, like, Secret Wars, they're not going to use Stan Lee.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it's also, Secret Wars would be hard for them to pull off. They don't own the rights to enough properties to make it work.
Yeah.
But that's my kind of opinion.
Well, they did Civil War.
They did, and they made that work. But I mean,
the comic books.
Secret Wars is that's a big ass story. That would have to be told in 4 parts.
Yeah.
But let's get to the third post-credit scene, which is Baby Groot grows up into a teenage Groot. He's sitting there playing video games. The room's a mess. He's got vines everywhere. Peter walks in, tripping over the vines. He's treating him like a parent. He's like, you know what? I'm getting tired. You sit there wasting your time playing these video games. And Groot's, I am Groot. I'm not boring. I am Groot. I'm not boring. I am Groot. And he goes, now I know how Yondu felt.
and I don't know. Maybe I just didn't notice it, but that's the first time I've seen somebody other than Rocket understand what he says.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with him developing and growing and things
Yeah.
like that. I think they pick up on the language and what certain things mean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the one thing I mentioned earlier about almost crying with Baby Groot is when they're fighting Ego. There's a part where Ego is winning and he looks like he's going to kill all the Guardians, and he starts to crush Baby Groot, and you just see one tear going down Baby Groot's face, and it broke my heart.
No. When he starts to crush, that wasn't the time. It was before that.
No, when he starts it's before Peter realizes it, before Yondu tells him that he to use his willpower.
Right.
All the stuff comes out and starts engulfing all the Guardians. Groot's in that little cavern and starts to close in on him. And he makes that horrible little screaming noise, and then the one tear rolls down his face.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And that broke my fucking... I wanted to cry so bad for Baby Groot. It broke my heart to see it happen. It was rough.
Yeah.
Pour one out for Baby Groot. Yeah. He doesn't die, again.
It didn't bother me too much because he's a tree. So
I look at Baby Groot the same way I look at dogs in movies. I Am Legend, I cry when the dog dies. That's how I look at Baby Groot in this movie.
Yeah. I am poop or Groot.
But it was a good movie overall. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of good parts. Not really we tried to figure out try to do an opposite. What's your favorite part? What's your least favorite part? We couldn't really think of what's a bad part in this movie. Everything lends itself to the story pretty well. There were just certain character interactions, things like that didn't mesh well or jive the way I think they should have. But they weren't bad by any means. It all was a very complete and well-told story.
Yeah, I would say probably if I had to reach in my ass and pull out a bad part.
If you reach in your ass and pull out anything, I'm leaving.
Well, it'll smell like a rose, whatever it is. Trust me.
No, it won't. I've smelled your fart. It makes me want to die.
Well, yeah, me too. But no, the Yondu's arrow.
Okay. Because in the comics he uses a quiver.
Yeah, in the quiver he has more than one arrow.
Yeah.
But that freaking in the comics, that arrow was made of adamantium or something. It was crashing. It was just going through every damn thing it could. It did not stop. It just went. It just didn't stop. And I'm like, wow, I don't remember being that powerful, but okay.
I will say this: they finally give Yondu the big fin instead of the little one he's got.
Yes, that was cool.
And it was cool to see him in it because that's Yondu from the comics is the bigger fin.
And then the one part on the whenever, which I thought was kind of cool, is after they got the fight and everything, and Peter and Yondu come on their belts and flying down, and Peter says, "You look like Mary Poppins." He goes, "Mary Poppins, is he cool?"
Peter's yeah, he's cool.
He's damn cool, or something like that. And he goes, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all."
That was funny as fuck.
That
was pretty great. But yeah, the movie had a lot of good moments, a lot of funny parts, and I think they did a very good job on a sequel that I didn't expect a whole lot from.
Yeah. I mean, because generally, I same thing. Everybody, the first one's great. Usually, the second one,
For you, it was the opposite. This was your Terminator of Marvel Comics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The first one was okay. The second one was like, oh wait, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
So this is your Terminator. This is more of my my Alien, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Okay. Yeah.
The first one better than the second one. Third one better than both though. So
yeah.
Hopefully Guardians 3 blows everything out of the water. But this has been Post Credit Review. I have been your host, The Clown. You have been...
And still am, Kevy Kev.
You are still Kevy Kev.
I'm still Kevy
But thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you guys like the new format. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun shit. Let us know how you like this new format, the new way we're shooting the show. Most of the shows we shoot are going to be in this format going forward. A little easier for shooting. As you can see, we can do more time. We don't have to worry about the camera stopping on us. So just give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you feel. When you go see Guardians yourself, tell us in the comments. If you agree with us, disagree with us, let us know your favorite parts. Let us know all that stuff. But make sure we'll answer back. We'll talk with you, everything like that. But definitely leave some comments. Let us know how you guys are thinking. Let us know how you're feeling.
And there's nothing you can say that's going to make us mad. We take criticism very well.
You can tell us we look fucking stupid. You can tell us that this is the shittiest show you've ever seen on YouTube.
We're just going to say, why are you stating the obvious?
Yeah, we're going to be like, we already knew that, fucker. Give us some new info to work with. But I have been The Clown, you have been Kevy Kev, and this has been Post Credit Review. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check us next time, where I think we may be seeing the new Alien movie, depending on when that comes out. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well.
We'll have to look at the schedule, but you will get an update on what's coming out after this one, and we will let you know what movie it is.
Yep.
Thank you very much for watching, folks, and you have a wonderful rest of your day or night.
Bye.